The mining house without a mine, that's what TWP is often referred to, and just taking a look at exactly what it is that the company does. I know that the core competencies relate to being technologically advanced. You also have a strong intellectual capacity in the company. Could you just elaborate more about what TWP is?
We're known by the acronym of EPCM contractors. You know, EPCM stands for Engineering, Procurement and Construction Management. The word that's maybe a little confusing there is contractors, because we're not contractors, let's say, in the Murray and Roberts Avenge sense of the word. We don't employ lots of people who lay bricks and pour concrete. We're at the front end of the business. We employ about 1,200 technically qualified staff, engineers, technical support staff, right the way from geology, process, mining engineering. We design the mines, we project manage mines, and we implement for and on behalf of our clients.
Right, so you often refer to as a barometer of how the actual mining sector is doing, because if you're not working on a project now, the project's not going to be, the mining project's not going to be there in a few years' time. What is the, we know the mining sector has been hard hit in this economic crisis. What is the situation at the moment? Have you started to see any improvement on the ground?
That's quite right. We are a barometer. A lot of our projects start off with feasibility studies and only work through to actual execution and production, anything from sort of 3 to 5 years or even longer after we start the feasibility studies. From about November, December last year until probably March, April this year, it was very quiet. We weren't starting any new projects. We definitely saw a drop-off in our order book, in new work filling up work which we've completed. April, May, and since then, we've definitely seen a lot more activity and a lot more positive commitment from our clients. So things are picking up, but it's off actually quite a low base. So we're hoping that things will actually continue to get better throughout the rest of this year and work into 2010.
Now, looking at your workload per commodity, you do a lot of work in PGMs. Is this trend starting to change?
Certainly, PGM, platinum group metals, over the last 5-6 years, that has been the flavour of the month. South Africa, being the world's biggest PGM producer by a very wide margin, has experienced quite a boom in that commodity. Certainly, some of the workload has dropped off, not entirely by any means, because clients have to replace production which is worked out. They need to replace underground areas with new areas to continue production. So that has dropped off. It's not dropped off to nothing. We're seeing some more interest coming back. Conversely, gold, coal, uranium, and certain base metals, particularly copper, the prices there have come back quite strongly. And we're seeing that pick up, I think, before the PGM sector.
Looking at your projects at the moment, you've got you're setting up shop in Zimbabwe. You see an exciting business opportunity there. Could you tell us more about that? And how is the general recovery taking place in Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe we see as a country which we need to be in. We have always had an involvement in Zimbabwe. We're probably doing more work in Zimbabwe than any other company. We're looking at least 3 major operations, 2 in platinum and a couple in gold. We've been in that country for, in a subdued fashion, but with the political situation stabilizing, and particularly what they call the dollarization of Zimbabwe, the US dollarization, there is a lot of interest there, and particularly in the gold and the PGM markets.
Now, there's been talk of a merger, perhaps with Basil Reed, and on the face, these two, your company, Basil Reed, look like completely different companies. So what would be the motivation behind a tie-up with them?
I can't say a lot at the moment because both Basil Reed and TWP are currently trading under a cautionary. But it is public knowledge that TWP has said that we want to get more involved in what's called EPC work, which is basically where we are the contractor and we take the risk for the contracting work and deliver a complete product to the client. Basil Reed, conversely, have publicly said and been saying for some time now that they believe they need to add an engineering capability to their business. So while, yes, their business is in heavy construction and our business is in the intellectual capital side, both businesses can continue very successfully on their own. But by combining the two, the opportunities there give both of us a huge access to new markets and in fact to new business models, which is the model often required in Africa and in other parts of the world.